Hey guys, this is lukemick here, and this is my review for Gravity. So Gravity is directed by a man by the name of Alfonso Cuaron, I believe is his name, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but if I'm not, I'm very sorry. It stars George Clooney and Sandra Bullock. So the movie is essentially about two astronauts on a very casual mission up in space, just repairing a space station or something, and disaster strikes them. Basically, another space station exploded or something, and a bunch of debris has been orbiting the Earth, and it's coming towards them at rapid speeds, and they have to escape that. And the movie is basically just about survival, and they have no contact with anybody on Earth. So, the movie, or the story is very straightforward, and I think in this case it did work, and it worked out well for the movie. It didn't need to be very complicated and big, it just needed to be something that people could look forward to. And it was a pretty intense story of survival, and you really felt like you were there a lot, and a lot of that goes to the cinematography. But we'll get to that in just a second. The performances, I thought they were good, but not great. I've never been a big Sandra Bullock fan, and I thought she was good in this movie. She just wasn't amazing. And the same thing goes for George Clooney. George Clooney really never got to know a lot about his character, and I thought he was good in the movie, and I always liked George Clooney. He's one of my favorite actors, but I think his is more so just character development. That's kind of the problem I have with him. So the performances are good, but they're nothing Oscar-worthy, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people have been saying about that. I just don't think they're that great. So, cinematography and the visuals and all that, and the directing. This movie is directed so well. A lot of the shots are just the camera. It almost just seems like it's just circling around space, just watching the characters and, hearing their conversations. And it really makes you feel like you are there. And a lot of that also goes to the visuals. The visuals are just great. It literally looks like this movie was filmed in space. So I definitely think that this movie will be nominated for an Oscar for cinematography because it looks and feels like you're there. And when the dangerous stuff really starts to happen, your heart starts to pound and it feels like you're actually watching them. And I did see it in 3D, and some of the best 3D I've ever seen. It had me like jumping and blinking my eyes at some parts. It all looks just beautiful, and it's directed just flawlessly. I will say that it could have been paced a little better at times, but what are you going to do? I mean, every movie has its little downtime. So, overall, I thought Gravity was a good movie, but however, I do think it is really overrated. And I'm going to say this, but this does not mean I did not like the movie, but I think it's the most overrated movie of the year. If you guys are familiar with Rotten Tomatoes, which I'm sure almost all of you are, it has 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. And on IMDb, it's like the number 43 movie of all time. That is not realistic. It really isn't that good of a movie, because like I said, I didn't think the performances were that good, and it gets a little slow at some parts. It's visually, the movie is a masterpiece, and the way it's directed is just amazing, but there were just some little things here and there that weren't that great about it. But overall, I did really like the movie. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. I recommend you guys check it out, and if you do, go see it in 3D. So as always, guys, this is lukemick signing off. Please subscribe, and I'll talk to you later, and I do not know what I'm doing with my hand.